Good morning, good morning. Good morning and aloha. What's up, Cisco? How you doing? Hey, Raj, how you doing? Good morning. Mother Truck, what's up? Good morning, Lars. Jerry, what's going on, man? How you doing? All good. It's Friday. Hey, Nate. Friday, Friday. Here we go. Hey, Patrick. Good to see you. How are you? What's up, Johnny? How's the new home? So, well, we had a couple of days of liquidation. We have a gap. We have a gap to the downside that didn't fill the next day. Fascinating. Let's see if we fill it today. Overnight inventory was short. It is now correcting long. Didn't take out yesterday's high because we know that there's supply in the gap. You know, when you have a gap down, you've got a chunk of supply, and if they're kind of like single prints, same thing. We need a reason to go up there, and the reason is that you ran out of supply at lower levels. So for now, they're just going to sell this blue stuff up here. Another quiet week goes by. Hey, Juan. Yeah, we went right to that stop to the tick. This period is opening up. We have a few little single prints here. Just here. That's where the short position is. There's a tiny, tiny short position right here. I'll draw a line above it. There. And let me just clean up this chart a little bit. Yeah, so basically you guys can see market profiles. Simple, you show, look at that. There's the inventory from today. There's the inventory from yesterday. And we're selling it up here, right? You were lagging last night. You thought you could tell the future, but it was a slow internet connection. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt. Hey, Alexander, what's going on? Juan, ¿qué pasa? Proper high for a change. But we do have a poor low, okay? So I thought I'd point that out before I had to, like, get everybody to wake up. And it's okay if you're sleepy, it's Friday. Fridays are good for chilling out and protecting your capital. Never push your luck on a Friday. What if you feel lucky? Well, it's not a Dirty Harry movie. Remember Clint Eastwood? You feel lucky, punk? uh, If you feel lucky, go and buy some lottery tickets. Definitely. Go buy some lottery tickets if you feel lucky. Low risk, high reward. Spend $1. Don't spend any more than $1. If it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. You don't have to spend more than $1. Okay. All right. So we got a little distribution going here. Let's see what the 1 minute chart. I did levels. Where are my levels? Here we go. Oh. We've got VWAP at 6661. And okay, we've got sellers up here just under 74. Let me get rid of these standard deviants. Okay. Now, a very popular short that people take is when a market fails to take an overnight high, or I mean fails to take a previous day high, right? One of the things that market profile traders do is they would short 71, 72, put their stop at 73. And if you're a big player, you put your stop at the previous day high, and then just wait for the backfill and go and put some bids down here. I wasn't on early enough to do that. So let's see what the next order of business is. Make this a bit bigger. Oh, did you? Nice. Hey, I'll take a point. That's well done. That's a good scalp. Shorting the backfill is always good. Now let's see where they find the bid. Probably around 69, 68. I haven't watched the market at all this morning. I've been so now you've got your levels drawn, everything's set. We do the same thing every day, same process. Now the process that we do every day, and I've been thinking about this, right? It's more than just a way to do business, and it's more than just a process. What it is it allows us, the process tells us whether we should trade or not, right? The process tells us whether we should trade. The process tells us how likely are the trades we are going to take, are they going to work? Speaking of that, I'm going to open up my other instance of Sierra here. Right. So our process, my go-to moneymaker ride or die trade is the look below and fail, right? Then it's the look above and fail. In a bull market, the look below and fail is probably what 80% of the trading I do. I don't do a lot of short selling. It's, when a market, what is it? We have 28 new all-time highs this year. It's pretty much easier to just go with. Now, I love a good short, but we need sellers in order to short. Look how small the candles are now, right? This is pure distribution. Mechanically, what's going on is anyone who's short down here, right? Larger traders would have their stops here, right? So when we blew those stops, that created that push up to the overnight high, but then the wholesalers sold into the overnight high, pushing price down. And they're just kind of slowing down right here because they know that's where the shorts are going to come in and buy. See, if you're a large trader, right, you always want to work the bid, right? So if you know that people are trapped short under 68, if you're a seller, when you get to 69, you're going to slow down on the selling. and lift the offer and see if they follow you higher, right? If they don't follow you, then you just hammer the bids, right? It's okay, right? In a slow market, right? Say I was long like 1,000 contracts between 56 and 60, right? And I'm selling them up at 72. Well, somebody's going to step in front of me at 72, so I'll sell 71. They'll sell 70. I'll sell 69. Now, we're both trained to think the same way, so when we get to 69 and a half, we're both going to slow down. See if those bids come in. Watch the offer move. Now, on my 1 minute candle chart, look at 70 and a half. Boom. Look how it offered just above, right? So they saw buyers. They saw suckers come into the circus. Raise price. See if the suckers will follow, right? That's how you make a market, right? You are now frustrated? If you are frustrated, go do something that will unfrustrate you. I highly advise there's two ways to do this, Deeks. If you're frustrated, if you're one of those people who tilts easy, like Francis in Stripes, gets really angry, punches TVs and stuff, get the hell away from the screen, right? Are you a person who can work through the frustration? Because frustration is your best friend in this business, right? You have to embrace that frustration, embrace the suck, right? Retail trading is the most frustrating job you can do because it's frickin' hard and you never get exactly what you want, right? Maybe one trade out of 100 is picture perfect. Everything else is a bit of a dog's breakfast. You're cobbling shit together because you have no control over anything, right? We are the fly on the ass of an elephant, right? So frustration, I'm glad you brought this up. This is really good you brought this up because frustration is what everybody deals with in this business. And you have two choices, right? You got to work through the frustration, which is a lot easier said than done, right? That's like telling people to be patient, right? They're like, F you. As soon as you tell someone to be patient, they're like, F this, right? Everybody does it. What is a practical thing you can do? Well, one thing is to get up and get away from the screen, right? Yeah, especially when you're alone, you have to have a set of protocols that you enforce to keep yourself from doing something stupid. Because when you're frustrated, when you're angry, when you're desperate, when you need money, that's when the market can smell it like a dog smells fear. And that's when you're primed to get ripped apart. Now you made 2 points. So it's better to be frustrated in profit than it is to be frustrated in loss. So there, you've got at least that going for you, right? What I do with frustration and what traders do and what traders have done for hundreds of years. Do you guys ever remember something called humor? Has anybody on this YouTube, anybody other than me worked in the business? Anybody here ever worked on a trade desk? Worked in a brokerage firm? Right? Well, when you do, there is something called laughter, right? And that's how we diffuse stress, right? Because things are always going not the way we want, right? That's just this business, right? It's frustrating. And if you get more and more worked up about it, you gotta. I use laughter, right? I crack jokes. We used to pull practical jokes on each other. We do stuff when it gets slow and you're not making a lot of money just to stay loose, right? So when I'm trading, a lot of times I'll be listening to comedy. Like I'll be listening to a stand-up comic, right? So like my favorite comic right now is Paul Smith. He's a Scouse comic from Liverpool. So I listen to his stuff and he's hilarious. And it keeps you loose. Listen to music, whatever you want to do to stay loose, right? And that not just is not just for geeks, that's just for everyone, right? And if you can't kind of calm down, get away from the computer before you do any damage to your bank account. That's my best piece of advice. Trading psychology has to be practical, right? Meditation doesn't work when you're angry, right? And meditation doesn't work. I don't know how all that stuff works. But I know if you have a laugh, you kind of break the tension, right? And once you break that tension, it'll kind of help you kind of see things in perspective, right? You have to find a way to deal with frustration because this is going to be the most frustrating thing that you ever do, right? It's like trying to put a puzzle together and the puzzle is moving and you are moving, right? So you gotta chill, right? And when you chill, you'll see trades better. You'll have some perspective, right? Retail trading is the hardest job in finance. Yeah, you're playing chess in a dinghy in 20-foot seas, exactly, right? Everything's moving. Look at how small these candles are, right? Do you see this? Now, any normal trader who sees this, right? Anyone who doesn't know, they'll be going long, they'll be going short, then they'll be cussing the market out. Well, if you look at the 1 minute chart, the market's clearly telling you, leave me alone. That's when you walk into a room. Guys, have you ever walked into a room and your wife or your girlfriend turns around and gives you that eat hot death look? What do? You just kind of walk out, right? Right? That's what the market's doing there. Just like, leave me alone, right? So when the candles get like that, you've got no business to do. So just chill out, relax. Now, when you look at that and your mind automatically relaxes, right? You got to chill out, Deeks. I had a heart attack at 44. Okay, died and came back to life and had a quintuple bypass because I was so stressed out. I had 3 cell phones, right? I didn't take a vacation from 1995 to 2021, right? I worked myself into a grave, literally. Don't don't go down that road. Have a bit of a laugh. This is how life is. When you see candles like that, relax. You know what I should do? I should call these relaxation candles. You guys have patterns, right? There's go to work candles and relaxation candles. You're welcome, Deeks. If I can keep people out of the cardiac ward, I've done a good thing. Right? Yeah, there is a seller at 70 and 3/4. Definitely, Moran. Thank you very much. Right? There they are. Yeah. Relaxation candles. Right? Like scented candles. These are relaxation candles. There ain't nothing going on for you here. Right? All this is a little distribution up here, right? And they lowered the price to see if they can bring buyers in, right? The shorts are trapped under 68. That's why there are bids here that are not filled that are creating support. Yeah, so you just leave this alone. If you're short from here and you can't get a cover here, now you know why, right? That's why it hasn't broken 67 yet. Now in 8 minutes, London's going to open and we'll target that low and see if London can take that out. It's a very common thing, Mother Truck. It's a very common thing. Barcode shiatsu, exactly, right? Those candles look like a barcode on a box of cereal, right? That is not tradable. Do not get involved, right? Just leave that alone, right? The less you trade, the better your life is going to be because you are not going to be taking trades and doing business at times where you shouldn't be. This will keep you from getting stopped out unnecessarily, and it'll keep you from that frustration. Because as soon as that frustration hits you, right, you'll it clouds everything, right? Let's see now. Can we get down to 67? Because I don't even know if these levels work. I just drew them a little while ago. So I want to see if we get a bid here at 67. Thanks, Cisco. Yeah, if you guys would like and subscribe, that would keep the algorithms happy and fed. I'm going to talk a little bit while we come to lower. I want to see if 67 holds. So if you're still short from 71, 72, and you held it, that's cool, right? You get your lower bids. Now, like if I was short at 72, I would have covered 69 and a half, 70. I would be gone by now. That's just me. I'm not a long-term player, right? But if you were holding that short, you can see there's just a little bit of a sale here, just down to 68. But nothing for me to initiate a trade right now. So I've noticed in myself and people that I've talked to, right? The last, ever since Labor Day, or before Labor Day, it was starting to get slow, right? And then after Labor Day, it got really slow, right? And the market's just been a dog's breakfast ever since. New high, new high, new high, bad price actions. So it hasn't exactly been the greatest retail traders market. And I've noticed a lot of people have like, oh, I'm not going to trade, or I'm quitting trading, or you see people on Twitter blowing up accounts, right? Just be just wait until the next quarter, right? Things will improve as we go into the end of the year. There should be some more volatility and more movement. I haven't seen a dry spell like this for a while. Usually September's a lot more busy. The last couple of weeks, I've been lucky if I've pulled off 3 trades a day, if that. That's why you young players, when you make money, save it. Because there are going to be times where you will make less. There are going to be times, where you scratch, and you're like, ugh, maybe I'll just chill out today, right? You're not going to make a lot of money. Have other sources of income so you don't have to put all your eggs in one basket. Sometimes these markets just shut off the money fountain, and you have to prepare for that. Come on down. We're coming back down. The next spot I'd be looking for responsive buying is right here at 64. If it breaks 67 and you're short, you're looking for 64 to the downside. I always use a stop. I always have a hard stop in. Always, always, always. Sometimes I'll get out before my stop if I'm on the ball, right? But I always have a hard stop because in this market, anything can happen. And right now, if you look at the ES order book, and that's the only reason I look at the DOM, right? If you look at the ES order book on the E-mini, it's 20 to 40 a side, right? 20 to 40 a tick, right? Which means if you go and look at the number of contracts per tick on the order book, it's like 20s, 30s, 18, 38. Nothing really. There's maybe 150. There's not a lot of size in the order book right now. If somebody comes in and puts in a large buy or sell order, that order book will part like the Red Sea. Boom. It'll go from 30 aside to ones and twos, and there'll be certain places where there's nothing in the book and the market will just gap, right? And it'll clean out. That order book will flatten out or get so thin so fast that it'll make your head spin. So you always want to have a stop. Always put in a stop. Exactly. Listen, trading without a stop is like playing Russian roulette. You're going to get away with it, but it's only a matter of time before that bullet's in the chamber and you're gone. Bye-bye. All it takes is a tweet, some dumbass to launch a missile or talk about launching a missile, some little piece of news, and these markets, remember, it doesn't take 3 minutes to put in and cancel orders now. It takes microseconds, right? So that order book will go from 30 aside to 0 to ones, and the market can move 20, 30 points in one 1 minute candle. Easily. Never trade without a stop. You know, it's just that's just bad mojo to trade without a stop. Here we go. Come on, London. What are you going to do, London? The easiest way for you to stay relaxed is when you don't have a stop? Yeah, that'll change right quick. You get a 30-point spike. Your relaxation is going to be gone pretty quick. You should not be relaxed when you're losing money. Don't worry, we'll chat after the We'll chat after the session. Yeah. Unfortunately, we do learn our lessons the hard way, my friend. Look below and fail of 67? Yeah. So if I was long 67 and a half, 68, I'm going to put a sell order out at 69. See if I can get it. Oh, come on. Come on. And out at 69. Oh, sorry about that. Oh, somebody's trying to get me to buy a watch. Nope. Yeah. Not much follow through, eh? Not much follow through at all. Very, very weird. Sellers are right there, there, and there. See, look at that. The offer moved down from there to there to there to there. I'm lucky I got out at 69. Actually, no, I got out at 68 and three quarters on that long. Let's see if we get some follow through here. Can we take out 69 quarter? Yeah, it's not the greatest trading right now, Moran. Because we're still, you know why? Because we're doing the distribution, right? We're taking this and we're selling it up here. So there's not much follow through. They're selling it where they have to, which is right here, right? They'd love to sell it up over here at 72, but we ran out of buyers up there. Nothing going on. Just distribution. Hey, good stuff, Travis. You're home for the weekend? Good, good, good. Enjoy. Hopefully the rains haven't started in BC yet. Distribution. If you guys know the difference between accumulation and distribution on slow nights, you're not going to try and trade distribution, right? Like I took that trade just for you guys to see whether or not it would work. But honestly, if you see a market, this, and it's really clear, you can see it really clearly when you go like this. Watch. If you zoom the chart out a little bit, right, you can see VWAP is here, right? This is all accumulation, right? That's what this is. And then you take the inventory to the store and you distribute it and you sell it for higher price. So as soon as you see that, you're like, oh, okay, we're in distribution. I'm going to have to trade less. Make sense? Yeah, let's go test that high. It is not a poor high. It's a weak high. Sorry for being persnickety. A poor high is the way it looks. A weak high is where it is. The high is weak because it's right at the overnight high. Both mean that there's competitive selling. I don't know why the market profile people did that, but after accumulation, are the same buyers holding up the bid to that new level? Well, yeah, after accumulation, the people who, here's the trick, mother truck. The people who are holding up the market here when we came down, right? They're the people who shorted in the accumulation area, right? Most, see, say 70% of the people go long here, right? And 30% go short. It's that 30% that are holding the market up. It's the people that short in an accumulation range who end up holding the market up when it breaks out of that range. Does that make sense? They are on both sides, right? But here's how it works. I got 1,000 for sale on the offer, 10 to buy on the bid. Right? The bids, see what I do is say I'm long, right? Say I'm long a lot of product. Now, this is not going to really help you with your retail trading, right? But right is exactly. So if I own something at 3 and I'm moving it up to 4, then I'll put a buy order at 4. You guys think there's big buyers at 4. You come in to buy 405, 406, 407. Then I'll move my buy order up to 410, right? And you guys have to hot me, and then I'll be selling, right, into that. Yeah, just enough to lure in those buyers, right? That's why you never trust anything you see on a DOM. Because that's to just... Yeah, you'll see lots of big bids when we're trying to get you to buy at higher prices. Lots of big offers when we're trying to push a stock down. Oh, I am ready for the weekend. I think it's going to be another beautiful day in Liverpool. Yeah, Howard, we'll work on that, Howard. Thanks for sending me that. Yeah, it's not a poor high, but it's a weak high. So Dalton and Stadelmeyer came up with this thing, poor high, weak high. Poor high is less than 2 ticks of excess, so it's the structure, it's the way it looks. Weak high is a real estate thing. Where is it? So a weak high is right at a previous day high or an overnight high or something like that. Both mean the same thing. Both mean that there's competitive selling at that level. A malnourished high, exactly. Now, so what's our next move? Well, if this is the problem with these markets, especially as we go into month end, which is Monday, right? I have a feeling we might fill the gap today. Remember, we have a gap to the upside, right? The problem with markets, if you're a short seller, is if you hold price steady long enough, people will come in and buy. And there's that gap fill is right there. You see? There's the gap fill. Right at 78. And we're back to the choppy candles. Let's keep our fingers crossed, folks, that next week, once this new quarter starts, that we have some decent order flow, and I think the end of the end of the year, I think it's going to be challenging to trade, but I think it'll be rewarding. I think there's going to be lots of opportunity. It has not been a great week. It has not been a great week. You're green all this week? Ho ho ho! Beautiful. That's what I love to hear. Then just make sure you close the week green, Mother Truck. Don't overdo it today. So, Mother Truck, I'm going to send you a Zoom link to that email address after this, okay? We're still distributing, Jerry. We know we have buyers under 67, and we're trying to get them to pay 68, 69. We got them to pay 70, 71 for a little while, but the lineup got thin, so we had to go work the line, put it on sale. It's that constant back and forth. Yeah, no rush. You have a question about poor lows. It becomes a visual reference so everyone can use it to trade. That's why it becomes a poor reference. I don't know where they got the name from, right? And I've never had a chance to ask the guys who created it about it, right? I don't know where they came up with poor and weak. It does become a visual reference. Here's the thing, Kunj, that not everybody can see it. Like, what are the percentage of people who use market profile software? I bet you it's less than 5% of the trading community. I mean, I was a trader for 20 years. Over 20 years, I'd never even seen market profile until 2012. 2012, 2013 is when I found market profile. But I've been in the market since 1993 and never even seen it. Was it 10%? It's not a lot. It's a very difficult way of learning how to trade because we've never seen it. It kind of hurts your head when you start looking at it, right? When you first start looking at these market profile charts, you get like an ice cream headache. Like it actually physically hurt my head when I first started looking at them, right? So now we're correcting inventory back down. We ran out of buyers. So what did I say? 64? I said 64, didn't I? You got to hold me to it. Let's see if that holds. So we can see it, but a lot of people have never even heard of a poor low, much less even know what the implications of a poor low are, which gives us a little bit of an edge because a lot of people are shorting down there when we're buying down there. Previous day and low is easy, right? Every trader, everyone's got that. Whether you're using whatever kind of software, whether you're using a $50,000 a month Bloomberg or a, free, everybody knows where the high and low is of the previous day, right? So what I look at those references, what they mean to me is if everybody can see it, then there's going to be more order flow at that level, right? And the more people who are at that level, the more reaction I'm going to get, right? That's why you get, like you saw, as soon as we got up to that previous day high, they started selling into it, right? They start front running it. Let's see if 64 works. I'm just curious because the position really is under 64. So we're going to sell it down. If we get into trouble, it'll break 64, it'll break 62, which is the close, and come all the way back down to cost basis at 59. Right? That's why when you guys use EMAs and stuff, I'm like, well, what are the popular ones? Because those are the ones I want to watch, right? I want to watch the popular EMAs and see where all where are all the cool kids transacting? Because that's where I'm going to get the best response. I don't use any moving averages. I have on the longer term chart, I have like the 50 and the 200 just for curiosity, but I don't trade them. Like that 9 EMA is supposed to work really nicely in ES when we get a trend going, from what I hear. Oh. Bounced at 64.5. Interesting. I was just curious because I'm always an inventory guy, right? So we came down to 64.5 and they front ran it. They front ran that 64. They started jumping in buying. Sellers raised price. Let's see if we can creep over 67. Yeah, my whole thing with market profile is I want to make it practical so we can use just what we need. Otherwise, you can get really carried away with it. There you go. Long 67, selling them into the 69s. Beautiful. Beautiful. Look below and fail. I had a 67 quarter bid in and I didn't get hit. Cisco stole my contract. It's okay. At least somebody in the room made money. Cool. Can't get them all. We should get. We should be able to creep up just close to 70 here. Couple more ticks. Come on. Give us a 69 and 3/4. Give me a print. Give me a print. Come on. Oh, you rat bastard. Print 3/4. Come on. There we go. $69 and 3/4. I think that's where it's going to top out for now. Hey, surprise, surprise. 70 and a half. Cool. Nice. Well done, Cisco. Nicely done. Good stuff. If I was in Hawaii, you'd be picking up the bill at the Rainbow. Now watch it run. Yeah, now watch it take out that The overnight high. Excuse me. For folks that are wondering, Cisco lives in Hawaii, and I used to live in Hawaii in the 80s. The Rainbow is this diner that we used to all go to. Wow, do we have the horses to take out 73 quarter? That's unexpected. I wasn't expecting a move from 65 to 73. I was thinking maybe 67 to 69. Okay, so we found a bid. Let's see. Watch now. As the next period opens in a minute and a half, do we get a little burst of buying to go tickle yesterday's high? There we go. Little stop run. There's 74. Oh, that's a cool one. Let's see if we can get it over 74. Thing is, every time I misjudge this market, it teaches me a lesson. Now we got a poor high. All right, folks. This is where I leave you. Have a wonderful weekend if we don't see you at 9 Eastern time for the next session. Really, if you really want to level up your trading, drop by our room. We're in a slow period right now, so looking forward to taking people on and helping them accomplish their financial goals at the Trading Syndicate. We've got the room, and also we've got one-on-one lifetime mentoring where I work with you every day, and we just keep working through this crazy business that we call finance. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend if I don't see you. Be safe. Enjoy the sun, and I will see the rest of you at 9 o'clock Eastern Time for the RTH session. Thanks so much for being with me. Bye for now.